Greetings and welcome to Gabe Talks. I am Gabe, and today I'm going to break down the narrative differences and similarities of the original Final Fantasy VII and Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. In this part, we will be covering the sections of the story where our heroes are at Kalm. A few warnings before I start. For Rebirth, the gameplay I am showing is from my second playthrough, so don't be thrown off if my gear doesn't reflect yours. And more importantly, this video will discuss spoilers for both the original Final Fantasy VII and Rebirth. So fly, you fools. Fly. I will pick up from where I left off from my last video, which you should totally watch if you haven't seen it yet. Just saying. Cloud had just finished telling his friends his tragic backstory involving Sephiroth and the burning of his hometown. In Rebirth, after he finished his story, the team went to bed for the night, but Tifa is having trouble sleeping because as far as she remembers, Cloud was never in Nibelheim during that time. The next following scenes only happened in Rebirth, but not in the original. Cloud was awakened by Tifa knocking on the door. Boy, Barret and Red are real heavy sleepers. How did they not wake up from that? For all they know, that could be Sephiroth asking if they want to be a Jehovah's Witness. Get it? Jehovah's Witness? Play on Jehovah's Witness? No? No? Oh, okay. Anyways, when Cloud opens the door, Tifa wants to talk privately on the roof. Cloud follows her, and holy shit, it's Sephiroth! I was just joking! Don't kill me! Oh wait, he's a ghost. Yeah, Cloud imagines a ghost of Sephiroth, making Cloud doubt his relationship with Tifa by reminding him that he quote-unquote killed her many years ago and that she could be an imposter. Cloud catches up to Tifa on the roof, where we could catch a gorgeous view of Kalm at night. Something that we couldn't see in the original, likely because of the graphics at the time. Tifa has a small moment of homesickness before Cloud cuts off her train of thought. Cloud said that when Sephiroth attacked her, she looked very grave, implying that she died. An angry Tifa then asks Cloud if he's implying that she's an imposter. Cloud stayed quiet, confirming that he is indeed implying that. Then Tifa flashes her boobs at him. Wait, that's not right. Let me check the script. Oh, she showed him her scar. My bad, guys, my bad. So yeah, Tifa showed Cloud her scar and explained that after she was severely injured, Zangan came to her rescue. Not only that, the doctors and the nurses were witness to her recovery. Tifa turns the passive-aggressive questioning on Cloud, asking him where he's been these last 5 years. The screen has a flash of static, and then Cloud says she knows he can't tell her. This scene goes deeper than what's shown, but I don't want to get too sidetracked. Let's just say if you played the original and remembered Cloud's real backstory, then you know why he gave that answer. Tifa then runs off. Cloud starts to head back to his room and sees her standing outside her door. Tifa admits to Cloud that she had hoped they'd pick up things where they left off, but maybe she was wrong. And then Cloud gives an angsty bitch answer and says, "Guess so." Tifa confesses that she was so happy to see him, but maybe she shouldn't have been. She goes into her room and Cloud says nothing. Cloud, you stupid dumbass. He goes back to his room where Nosy, Barret, and Red are now awake. Barret asks Cloud if he and Tifa fought. Cloud lied, but Barret knows better. Barret tells him that they have enough problems as is. Cloud ignores him, and then they turn in for the night. Now, before I go on with what happened in Rebirth, let me explain what happens in the original version of Kalm. In the OG version of the game, Kalm was really just a pit stop for Cloud to share his backstory with his friends. It is a very small and quaint town. You can interact with the villagers there and explore their homes, something you won't be able to do in Rebirth. Interacting with the citizens will give you small snippets of lore and will give you hints on where to go next. Talking to certain people will give you a secret opportunity to build your relationship with your friends for the eventual date sequence later on in the game, but you wouldn't know that on face value alone. You could explore a bar and a lot of stores. If you interact with a certain individual, he'll give you a crash course on exploring the open world. One more important gameplay detail you won't find in the remake. After Cloud tells his story about Sephiroth, one of your party members will give you a PHS. It's a gameplay mechanic which lets you switch your party members at save points and in the open world. In the original, the party gets split into two teams, your active party and your reserves. Rebirth has the latter mechanic to a certain extent, but instead of the party members going elsewhere, they tag along with you in the journey. They're just not active in the gameplay. Narratively speaking, they justify this by saying they don't want to attract too much attention to themselves, so they have to split up. Really though, it's the game telling you you can't play as more than 3 party members at a time. Overall, nothing too eventful happens here at Kalm, outside of Cloud talking about the Nibelheim incident. Back to Rebirth. Cloud wakes up the next morning and notices that everyone is gone. When Cloud opens the door, he finds a deck hanging on his doorknob. It's the remake's new side activity, Queen's Blood, where you could challenge wannabe Yu-Gi-Oh characters to a card game. A minigame that didn't exist in the series before Rebirth. This game's developers really wanted you playing this minigame, otherwise they would have let you discover it on a side mission or something. After getting the deck, you can head down to the lobby where you can meet the hotel manager, Broden, a new character that didn't exist in the series before. He gives you a message from Barret, telling you to go upgrade your equipment. Broden adds to Barret's message and suggests you visit a bookstore where you're able to upgrade your abilities. The scene is pretty much the game's tutorial disguised as a story mission. Once you're outside, Red 13 will be waiting for you. A cutscene plays out where Red thanks Cloud for rescuing him from Hojo's lab, which happens in part 1 of the remake series, Rebirth being part 2 in case there needed to be clarification. Red then says he'll join Cloud's party until his debt is paid. He then leaves Cloud, leaving the player to explore at their leisure. Kalm is more explorable than it was in the original. There's a bunch of exterior stores, more bars, a street market, and a tiny theater to see. The town is livelier as well, with dancing groups, people watering their plants, and weirdos to duel in Queen's Blood. There's even a small boat canal which didn't exist in the original. And speaking of things that didn't exist in the original, the bookstore that Broden suggested you visit did not exist in the old game. As mentioned before, the bookstore provides a new mechanic for Rebirth which will let you upgrade your party's in-game abilities. You'll find stores all over this game. One other very nice addition to this game is the ability to interact with your party members in the towns you visit, which starts with Kalm. The original game did let you do this, but to a far lesser extent. Interacting with your party members in these moments will grant you relationship points depending on the dialogue you choose. These points will help you towards the eventual date sequence at the Gold Saucer. More on that in future videos. Another wonderful addition that Rebirth added is the ability to track your relationship status with each party member. In the original, there was no other way to see your relationship status with your other party members. So this feature makes things a lot easier to keep track for choosing who you want to date. I wanted to date Tifa. No, not because of her boobs. Her heart is bigger than her boobs. You gotta believe me! Anyways, architecturally speaking, Rebirth's Kalm looks similar to the original on the surface level, but there's a lot here to distinguish the two, outside the obvious graphical differences. In terms of design, the only thing the remake and the original have in common is the underground bar. And the inn as well. Rebirth changes the placement of the stores and expands it in a way that gives it more life. Rebirth even allows you to climb up the clock tower. In the original, the closest thing you get to that is climbing a tower inside an NPC's house. But that doesn't really count because I think that was an attic. Alright, back to the story. On your way to the bookstore, you'll find Aerith standing outside the store. She'll invite you on a date to visit the clock tower. Ooh, Cloud and Aerith sitting on a tree. Kissing. I'm pretty sure if Cloud heard me say shit like that, he would have said, "Shut up, I love nothing!" After you're done with the bookstore, you can catch up to Aerith. Up at the clock tower, you can enjoy a nice romantic view of Kalm, something that was absent in the original, again likely because of the graphics of the time. Aerith will try to find Midgard, and then changes the topic to Cloud and Tifa's fight. Aerith shares that she really didn't have friends growing up, and she asks Cloud not to take Tifa for granted. Yeah, Cloud, you have this super cool girl that clearly digs you, and you're being an idiot! My god, what a dumbass! Setting aside Cloud's stupidity for a sec, the whole side plot about Cloud's misplaced hostility for Tifa and everyone telling him that he's wrong is something new to Rebirth and did not exist in the original. I just wanted to clear that up in case I didn't mention it before. Now here comes the biggest deviation from the original. Cloud and Aerith's moment on the clock tower was rudely interrupted by Shinra. Troops scattered throughout the town trying to find Cloud and the rest of his party. Cloud and Aerith escape from the clock tower and find Broden at the entrance. He says that Cloud's friends are safe at the inn and asks him to go there as well. Broden convinces Cloud not to fight the troopers and to follow him to the inn instead. On the run, Broden reveals that he knows Cloud and friends were involved in the Mako bombings and that he works for Avalanche in a way. Their path is then blocked by a pair of Shinra troopers. Broden goes to distract them while Cloud and Aerith climb up to the rooftops. They successfully sneak past the troops and into the hotel. Broden tells Cloud and Aerith that the rest of the team are waiting downstairs for them, and then reveals a secret passage to the basement. Broden tells them to go meet some of his allies at a farm, and then gives them some supplies. In addition to that, he gives Cloud a transmuter which allows him to craft items, a mechanic that didn't exist in the original game, nor in the first part of the remake games. Cloud then asks Broden why he is helping them. Broden shares a vague statement claiming that he and the rest of Kalm have a history with Shinra. Cloud and Aerith head downstairs and a relieved Tifa greets them. A peeved Barrett asks Cloud and Aerith where they've been, to which Aerith says nonchalantly, a date. Tifa looks visibly shocked when she hears this. Well, this is awkward. Barrett then becomes a cockblocker and says that's the last date, at least until things calm down. Oh, Barrett, you can't contain Cloud's riz. Oh, God, why did I say that? Let's ignore my moment of cringe and wrap this up. The group navigates out of the basement and into the gorgeous grasslands. Aerith comments that the planet looks so green, and it doesn't look like it's dying. Red reminds her that the planet may look that way, but the planet is dying from the inside. Tifa looks up to see the Shinra plane hovering over Kalm. She says it looks like they aren't gonna come back for a while. Silly Tifa. Side missions are a thing. Finally, Aerith joyfully claims the first steps into their new journey. At this point for Rebirth marks the first time the game fully lets you loose into its open world, which, in the original, sort of already lets you do that when you escape Midgar. And that's it for Kalm. If you're with me thus far, I want to thank you for finishing my video. I made this video shorter so that I won't overwhelm you with details. If I missed a detail, let me know in the comments and please feel free to share your thoughts of the changes Rebirth made. Did you like the changes they made from the original, or did you hate the new changes? I'll be cranking up more videos like this, and we'll discuss other types of games in the future. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this, and thanks again for watching. Catch you all later.